Welcome to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
And welcome to a special edition of Behind the Law featuring attorney Justin Clark of Gregory & Clark Attorneys at Law right there in Longwood, Florida, just outside of Orlando. And we're taking your calls right now at 855-297-9696 or 407-297-9696. A very special edition of Behind the Law today, just here at 5 o'clock. So we want you to come on and open up those phone lines right now. Give Justin a call. And Justin has been with us for now a couple of years, maybe 3 years, talking mainly about foreclosure, short sales, modifications, the various government programs that are available to you out there that so many of you are not taking advantage of. You know, and it's heartbreaking to see people lose their homes, just move their family, relocate. And that's terrible. When actually there's people here to help, just like Justin Clark. So what is on the docket today?
We're going to talk, first of all, I've got some bad foreclosure news locally. Florida, the foreclosure filings in Florida are out of control. In fact, one local county, which many of you probably live in, is number one in the nation for foreclosure filings in the month of February, up 85% from last year. You know, you think we're getting through this right now. They're up 85%. And the metro area that we live in here is number two in the nation now. So I'm going to go through some of the specifics of that in a few minutes here. I also want to talk, because we've done many shows here about how to save your home. And most of the time when we talk about it, it's how to save your home via a loan modification. A bankruptcy can also help save your home oftentimes as well. And I want to get into that on the other side as well. But those of you in Osceola County, I've got some bad news. You are number one in the nation for foreclosure filings in February. Number one in the nation of any county across the United States of America. Florida has the highest rate of foreclosure activity of any state in the United States.
So if you're number one in Florida, and Florida's number one in the nation, we got some work to do.
The Orlando metro area, which is the four-county metro area, which we know, is now second in the nation for metro areas, up 32% from last year. I mean, wow. You keep hearing about there's no inventory out there. I think the banks are just sitting on the inventory because they are definitely still foreclosing on people. And now is the time, I still think, if you want to save your house because of the lack of inventory, if you want to save it, now is the time to try to save your house.
If they say up 32%, was this that mystical second wave that everybody kept worried about?
This is it. Welcome to it.
So we're in it.
And I was telling you about it, too. And I knew it was coming. And here we are. We're right in the middle of it.
As we've established, those of you in Osceola County, this is not good news for you. No. Because if you lead the nation in foreclosure, I don't see a lot of recovery on equity down there, right?
It's one of the hardest hit areas, no doubt about it. And I think that the property values there are coming up a lot slower than they are in a lot of other places. And I see this in counties such as Osceola, Volusia. You know, in the real heart of this area now, you know, the Winter Parks, the Lake Marys, I think it's coming back a little faster than even some people expected. But some of the harder hit areas are still slow. They're lagging behind.
Is there any reason that you can see? You've been around this area for a long time, and you've helped a lot of families south in Kissimmee and around there.
Sure.
Is there any reason why Osceola County would be lagging in the state, except for the fact that during the boom, all the cattle property became homes all of a sudden? It was big development.
It's true. And what I really see about the southwest of Volusia County, the Deltonas, Orange Cities, or the Osceola counties, the people there who were buying in 2006 were getting forced out because it was really still a lower income type of person who was normally buying in those areas. And they were still paying $160,000 or $180,000 for a house that's now worth $60,000 or $70,000. And those are the people that also lost their jobs first as well. So those are the people who couldn't pay their mortgage right away. So I think that really affected the values a lot.
Yeah, if you were living in Osceola, chances are you were taking 192 across to Melbourne and the Cape, and you were working over there.
Absolutely.
And, of course, they laid off thousands of people, and that would have accounted for a lot of those people being laid off in secondary, and the wave just keeps going. 407-297-9696, 855-297-9696. We also welcome our television audience on WRDQ TV 27, 10:30 every Saturday morning. Now, when you're watching on TV, just a reminder, don't make phone calls during that time to the radio station because there's a totally different show on. But when we're on the radio, feel free to call in live, and then you can listen to your conversation the following Saturday.
Absolutely.
Our show is pre-recorded for TV. You can ask your questions on the radio live, Sundays at noon on FM 96.5 WDBO.
Is there anything that I can negotiate with my lender to try and lower the principal?
Stay tuned. Justin Clark will be right back with more Behind the Law. Welcome back to Behind the Law, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
Welcome back. We are Behind the Law right here on News Talk 96.5 WDBO and WRDQ TV 27. Justin Clark is taking your calls right now at 407-297-9696, or you could call in from anywhere at 855-297-9696. A reminder to our TV audience, if you're watching it on TV and you try to dial those numbers, we're not there. Somebody else is.
But
so
someone's at my office, and they can
that's
dial the
right.
number on the bottom of the screen here.
This one down here.
Yes, absolutely.
Is it down here somewhere?
It's right. Yeah, right
I feel
about
like
here.
the weather
around,
guy.
I think so.
There'll be a front coming across the town. Hey, let's go to Maria right now. Maria, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Go ahead with your call, ma'am.
Yes, my question is, I have a home. I owe $115,000. A year ago, I was under the Florida Hardship Program because I was laid off. I was on unemployment. The program is already up. Thank God I saved my home because of this program, but I still don't have a job, a permanent job. I have, little things that I've been able to do. I have my money for my first month of mortgage, but I don't know how I'm going to make it from here. And because I don't have a permanent job, I don't think I can do a modification to lower my rate,
Right.
which is something that will lower my payments.
Do you,
My question is, since the value of the home is half of what I owe because of the market going down, is there anything that I can negotiate with my lender to try and lower the principal, being the fact that I'm paying double than what the house is actually the value?
who's the lender? Who do you get letters from?
Chase.
Okay. Do you have any?
I'm okay now.
Do you have any idea if it's Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
You can
Chase Home Financial.
That's okay. Most people don't know if it's actually backed by Fannie or Freddie. You can look that up online. But if it's not Fannie or Freddie, there's a shot you can do a principal reduction under the National Mortgage Settlement. It really makes some of the 5 largest servicers do principal reductions. Chase is one of them. So there's a chance you can do a principal reduction. What makes me a little nervous is you have no income to show. So when I go to Chase and say, hey, Chase, Maria can't afford this mortgage as it is now, but if you lower it, she can. See, it's a struggle for me to prove that because you don't have any income coming in whatsoever. Is anyone helping you out? How do you plan on paying the mortgage when we do get it resolved?
Part-time job.
Okay.
It's more than anything, than what I'm doing now. The fact is that because I never refinanced my home, never took any money out of it, I bought my home when the price was reasonable, and it went up and it went down again.
Right.
So if I would, let's say that I get the principal, lower, I actually could make my payments with a part-time instead of having to have a full-time job.
Give me an idea about income you have coming in monthly, gross income. Do you know?
Right now, it's minimal.
Okay.
My daughter has been working, and she's been helping me. She's actually, for the last 6 or 7 months, she's the one that has been supporting pretty much the household.
Well, and here's what we have to do, and this is very allowed to do. We can use your part-time income. I can also show your daughter helping you out. But what she has to do is actually deposit that money in your bank account as opposed to just paying a bill here or a bill there. If I can show that she's a contributor and she's actually giving you money monthly, I can use that income to show that you have that much income coming in, and then maybe you can afford the payment if they lower the principal and if they lower the interest rate. I think that's what you should do. But it's a little more complicated that way. I think you need to probably call my office, 321-282-1055. I know you're in Melbourne. I'm about an hour and so away, but a lot of good clients I have from Melbourne. It's probably worth the drive if I had to guess, Maria.
Ask your question live. Tune into FM 96.5 WDBO Sundays at noon and ask Justin your question.
And I see this in my office all the time, where a husband and wife come in and they say, hey, we're getting a divorce, but he wanted to buy the house. I didn't want to buy it, so I went off this thing. I want to go through a divorce, and I want the judge to say I don't have to pay it anymore. It's not that simple.
Stay tuned. Justin Clark will be right back with more Behind the Law. Welcome back to Behind the Law, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
All right, we have got Charlie on the line from St. Cloud. And Charlie, I know you're one of our regulars on the program. What's the situation?
Yeah, I was wondering, if my wife were to pass away, God forbid, but could she, in theory, leave her half the house to her daughter? Then make me put her on my homestead, per se? And I've contacted the bank, and they said no. They would not do it unless maybe the person will assume the mortgage too, but they won't accept it like that. I just wondered what you thought.
All right, so you and your wife live together now?
No.
Okay. Help me on this question a little bit, Charlie. I'm not following you.
She moved out on me years ago. She moved out.
But she owns the house with you?
Well, she's on my mortgage, yeah.
And is she on the mortgage as well?
Yeah.
All right. If you're both on the mortgage, you're both going to be responsible for the mortgage. You both promised to pay the bank, so it's not like any divorce judge or any other person can say, oh, well, now Charlie's not responsible. You're both going to be responsible. And I see this in my office all the time, where a husband and wife come in and they say, hey, we're getting a divorce, but he wanted to buy the house. I didn't want to buy it, so I went off this thing. I want to go through a divorce, and I want the judge to say I don't have to pay it anymore. It's not that simple. You promised to pay, So you really can't do that. Now, a judge can say you don't own the house anymore, only your husband owns it, but why would you want to do that? Because now you're responsible for it and have no ownership interest in it whatsoever. So you have to be very careful if you're going through a bad relationship like this, how you're going to deal with the house. In the past, how people weren't underwater, so you just force the sale and you split the proceeds. You can't do that now because everyone's underwater.
All right, Charlie, I hope that answers your question. You might want to call Justin during the week. And what would that phone number be?
321-282-1055, gregory-clark.com.
Let's go to Arthur. Arthur, how can we help you? You're listening to Behind the Law with Justin Clark.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Call me Justin, Arthur, please.
Look,
Make me blush.
Justin, I am 83 years old. I made about 12, 13 years ago an agreement to purchase a home. I have tried for the past year to find a new homeowner's insurance that I could afford.
Okay.
Each year, my homeowner's insurance goes up. It's gone from $400 and some to $1,415.
Wow.
Now, if it goes up another year, I won't be able to make that. However, the lenders tell me, and I've checked all kinds of insurance companies and lenders, and the lenders are all willing to refinance. But it's not my mortgage money that is changing. That remains the same.
What's your interest rate now? And I'm going to warn you, Arthur, we might have to hold you over through the break, okay? But tell me what your what's your interest rate now?
It's 5.75, I believe.
Okay, I got you. How much is the monthly payment on your mortgage?
It's just went up $94. It's now $500 and some odd dollars.
Is that including the taxes, insurance, everything? Is that everything in one?
That includes that good for nothing homeowners insurance I'm required to have.
Yeah.
All right, Arthur, I tell you what, we're going to come back and talk to you right after the break, so you hold on to your phone, and Justin's going to give you his advice when we come back.
For more Behind the Law, including past episodes, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Gregory and Clark.
Imagine this. Imagine you're making your payments. You can make your payments, But if you started off in your house and your insurance was $400, okay? And as the years have gone by, your insurance company thanks you for your loyalty by raising your premiums to $1,400. That's a problem.
Stay tuned. Justin Clark will be right back with more Behind the Law. Welcome back to Behind the Law, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
Welcome back to the show. Yes, indeed. This is Behind the Law featuring attorney Justin Clark of Gregory and Clark Attorneys at Law. They're right out there in Longwood. Before the show's over today, we'll get information on how you can contact Justin during the week. How about the website where you can not only find information about the law firm, but you can also find past editions of this program, which is kind of cool. I just found that out this morning from one of my wonderful friends. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to find out the best advice right here each and every week as we're on the air on radio every Sunday at 12 noon and then on television 10:30 Saturday mornings. Tell the kids, watch cartoons later. Got to catch up on the law right now with Justin Clark. And you're kind of a hero to the kids, too, I imagine.
I don't think so.
Now, imagine this. Imagine you're making your payments. You can make your payments. But if you started off in your house and your insurance was $400, okay? And as the years have gone by, your insurance company thanks you for your loyalty by raising your premiums to $1,400. That's a problem. Now, we've got a very good guy on the air right now, Arthur, who's suffering from that same thing. So, Arthur, what have you tried to do to lower your insurance payments?
I went to probably a half a dozen or more insurance companies trying to get lower insurance.
Right.
Now, here is something that is absolutely mind-boggling. Right next to me is a house exactly like mine, except that I have hurricane windows and things like that. His insurance is $679 a year.
Right.
I went to his insurance company and asked if I could get insurance from them. They told me the least that they could give me insurance for was for $1,100 and some dollars.
What kind of income do you have coming in, Arthur? I know you said you're 83. Are you just on Social Security or any other income?
I have my military retirement.
How much is that?
That is, well, what I get is total, I get about $3,000 a month.
Got it. All right.
And that is plenty of money.
What you're going to find is when it comes to homeowners insurance, the biggest issue is the age of your roof. How old is your roof?
I put a hurricane roof on in 2009.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused as to why your insurance is going to be so much more than the neighbor's house, which sounds like it's even a little worse house than yours. Have you gone to challengemyrate.com?
Yes.
And what happened there?
They gave me about 3 different insurance companies to check on, which I checked on. One of them tried to sell me insurance that was higher than the one I was already paying.
Well, that's not going to help, is it?
And none of them were lower than the ones I was already paying.
What is your house worth?
My house is worth approximately, I'd say $65,000.
Yeah. And it sounds like your policy or your premium every year is a little bit more expensive than what I hear for a house with a solid roof and your value. I think what you might want to do is give me a call, all right? 321-282-1055, or you can go on the website to gregory-clark.com. Now, there's nothing you're going to hire me for, okay? It's just that I appreciate guys who have been around a few years like you, and I like sitting down and hearing the old war stories. So I want you to come in and see me. Let's talk about what we can do. I'm going to hook you up with someone who I feel pretty confident is going to be able to lower your insurance premium. And if you don't want to drive in to see me, you're over in Titusville, we can talk on the phone off the air, okay?
All right, very good. So thank you very much for the phone calls today. We don't have time for any more calls, but Justin, we're down within 2 minutes. So can you kind of give us, you're the attorney, give us a summary there, sir.
If you're going through the foreclosure process, let's talk about it. Let's get together and figure out what we can do. Whether you want to save your house, maybe it's time. Your house value is going up now, finally. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that. So maybe if you want to save the house, it's time to consider a loan modification or other ideas that I have for saving your home. But lastly, if you are just trying to ride it out and let your house go, make no mistake, once the bank forecloses on you, they can sue you for a deficiency judgment. Don't just walk away. If you know you're going through problems or know you're in foreclosure, let's deal with it now. Don't be embarrassed. I'm not going to make fun of you. I've done thousands of these for people, and I'm going to make sure I sit down with you. I'm a pretty relaxed guy. I'm not, I'm not very, not a very intimidating guy, and I understand your pain. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out the way out of this thing.
All right, how about phone number and website?
321-282-1055, Gregory-Clark.com. Rob Newton, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be here again with you next week. I missed the show this weekend. I haven't watched it yet. I think I have it recorded.
I haven't seen any of them.
You got to go on YouTube,
no
man. If you go to YouTube, you can. The nice people at WRDQ have a whole YouTube thing set up where you can watch all the episodes.
I've looked everywhere and they keep coming up Gunsmoke. I don't get it. Anyway, we want to thank Laurel and we want to thank David and, of course, the entire crew, radio and television alike. And we can't wait to see you next week right along with us right here as we're Behind the Law on News Talk 96.5 WDBO and WRDQ TV 27.
Thank you for watching Behind the Law with Justin Clark. Be sure to join us again next week as Justin takes you behind the law and answers your legal questions.